Well, while we're in lockdown, we thought we'd have a go at doing a couple of boat projects, and luckily we've got our Sailrite sewing machine back home. So we're going to have a go at replacing the dodgers. These are the side screens at the side of the cockpit, protect us from the rain and the wind and the waves. These are 11 years old and they've done pretty well, but they're pretty worn now. There's bits of sewing that's gone, and we've had to do a few repairs. So they're really time for replacement. And luckily we found a couple of companies who are supplying mail order materials. So a company called KO Spruce supplied us some uncoated acrylic canvas. It's really strong stuff. And a company called SAC Graphics supplied us some lettering, which is self-adhesive and pre-spaced. So it allows us to stick it onto the material, although we will sew around it like this has been done here to make it really secure. Now, rather than just replacing like for like, we thought we'd change the design a bit. Hopefully this is going to be a good idea. So the existing design is a single layer of material, hemmed, and you can see the back of the lettering, the sewing there. And what we're going to do instead is do a double layer, so we'll effectively have a sort of sandwich. So we'll sew the letters on, then double it over, and effectively make a bag and seal it along the bottom. Hopefully it'll be a nice tidy fix. We'll see. We've never done this before. So the first stage for us has been to make a template out of cardboard, so we can make an easy cutout of the material. We discovered in the process that the two sides of the boat are not quite exactly the same size, for reasons I don't quite understand, but there we go. So we've had to make sure we make them right. So first stage is make the template and cut out the material. So we'll show you how it's done. Okay, so we've got the material cut out and ready to put the letters on now, using the old dodger to give me an idea of position. The company that makes the letters recommends you clean the whole surface off with soap and water first, and then methylated spirits just to remove any release agent off the material. And now we've got to apply the letters. Because it's a long strip, I'm going to do them as individuals, but I'm just initially laying them down as one piece, and then we'll cut them into individual letters and do them one at a time. We'll see how we get on. We've learnt by doing the first set of letters, the I and the E were a real problem to get them to come off their backing paper. So we've come into the kitchen with a hard metal table, and we also kind of really smoothed the letters over back onto their backing paper before we applied them. So far, fourth letter in, we're doing okay. The last bit of the process is to get the top release plastic to come off the letters without lifting them off the canvas. You just got to take it really steady.
There we go.
Joe. Now comes the fun bit of trying to get round all the letters with the sewing machine. Well, that project was a lot more painful in reality than it looks like in time-lapse in future. If you're going to do one of these jobs, don't get letters with the big bulbs around the ends because they're really hard to sew around. Anyway, it's all sewn, so letters are all secure. So the plan now is to fold the product together and sew around the edges. But another kind of cunning plan we have is that the guard wires that go alongside the top and middle of the dodgers, we're actually going to run them inside the fold, so like in sort of batten pockets all the way through. So we'll put them in plastic tubes, just a 15mm plastic plumbing tube, so that it doesn't chafe the material. But obviously the top of the fold will have all the pressure, so we've actually sewn in a bit of nice strong material there. It's a kind of a good seatbelt type kind of stuff, so that should stop any chafe. So the plan is to turn it inside out and sew around the kind of final outside edge, and here's one I have prepared earlier. So this is now inside out, and a good tip is to use standard staples from just a store stationary staples to hold it together, much easier than pins. And my line there is the original outside of my cardboard template, and that's what we have to sew around. So here we go. So that's it's turned back the right way around, so it's beginning to look like the finished product now. So you can see the holes for the top wire and the middle wire in here, and then I've just got to sew the final bit of the seam I had to leave open to allow me to actually turn the thing inside out. So again, I've used staples, so I'll stitch that. I'm going to leave a little couple of 1-inch gaps of unsewn area just to allow any water that gets inside the layer to drain out, because it could potentially get in there. And then I'll do a second sort of hem around it, and probably a couple of extra ones, just sort of thing inflating in the wind. So we're nearly there. So here's the first pretty much completed Dodger. Getting the rings into the 4 layers of very tough fabric has been quite a challenge, so I'm going to leave the rest for find someone who's got a professional bit of kit. But it looks good. So we've got the button pocket here for the top wire and for the middle one, and then it should be a nice tidy result. And of course on the back you now just have a plain back rather than seeing the lettering that the old one had. So an improvement, we think, but of course we've got to wait to get back to the boat to fit them and make sure they look good.